if I go over my 5 minutes, she's going to pinch me on the bottom. It used to happen a lot to me when I was young. It hasn't happened for a while, but I will go over my 5 minutes. It's not often a beautiful young lady says that to you these days. Misha and Lizzie, Sasha and Joe, Dashil, Michelle and Irina. Ladies and gentlemen, the family asked me to say a few words today about our very dear friend Barry Stewart McDonald. It is a pleasure and a very great honour. I first met Barry when, as we've heard, when he arrived at Sydney University rugby training in 1967. It was at the invitation of our new coach, David Brockhoff. Brock was in the throes of putting together a team of students that he hoped could win the Shute Shield. He knew Barry from when he was coaching at East, and thought Barry, as an open-side flanker, would be the man to help achieve that goal. He was not wrong, as Barry became an integral and very important part of that highly successful team. So much so that Brock, in his report at the end of 1968 season, wrote, "Barry was possibly the best back rower in the Sydney competition. His dedication to the pattern of play," which if he knew Brock, that was all it was, there was a pattern of play, "his natural speed and ability to be first to the breakdown, and once there to be able to claim and control possession for the forwards deserves the richest compliment." Brock went on to say, "Representative honours will not elude Barry." Anyone who played rugby with Barry or watched him play would agree 100% with Brock. Of course, it was not long before Barry became a Wallaby. We all grew to realise that on the paddock, Barry had the stamina and heart of a Farlap. He simply never stopped going. I recall times that Barry and his great buddy James Roxburgh used to train by running along a beach in the soft sand. Neither would stop until the other was ready to drop. It was a demonstration of their amazing dedication and determination, and it's no wonder both of them became very, very good Wallabies for Australia. Stuart Boland and I, where's Stewie? He's over there. Stuart Boland and I thought such behaviour a total madness. 10 minutes of up and down the tram lines with Brock was enough for us. Barry had an easygoing and confident approach to rugby matches. Near the end of the 68 season, we had won the semi-final against Manly 29-6 and were playing them again in the grand final. Brock's biggest worry was complacency, as he'd seen such an attitude lose matches. He went around all the players warning him of this malaise. I was sitting next to Barry when along came a worried and highly concerned coach, who started to pass the message on to Barry. Barry stopped Brock mid-sentence and said, "Don't worry, Brock, we're going to shit it in." Brock's face was a picture, as it was just what he did not want to hear. True to form, Barry played his heart out and we won 26-3. Brock needn't have worried. Incidentally, the grand final team that year had 7 Wallabies in it and 2 Wallabies as reserves, which I think must be a record for any Shute Shield team. Quite amazing. There were people in the team who should have been Wallabies, and my mother thought that one of them should have been. Barry immediately blended into the ethos of the team and the club. However, as you probably all know, he must have wondered what he got himself into. He had an eccentric coach and a team of players, most of whom were highly opinionated and loved the sound of their own voice, on and off the field, with me being the possible exception. At the end of the successful 1968 season, 22 of us embarked on the first overseas tour by our Sydney University team. It was a great tour, but it did reveal a chink, as we've heard in Barry's armour, of phobias. As it turned out, Barry did not like heights, as well as all the other things that Paul talked about. On the flight to the USA, Barry did not leave his seat while we were all having an absolute ball, drinking, talking and walking around the cabin. He just seemed to be mumbling something to himself over and over and over. I was very concerned. I thought somebody'd gone into a mental decline. And I went over to hear what he was saying. He was saying, I'm not in a plane, I'm on a Greyhound bus. I'm not in a plane, I'm on a Greyhound bus. He said it all the time, repeatedly. The self-deception got him through for the 13 hours. So I agree with you about the phobias, Paul, they're unbelievable. But that was just one of them. We got into a lift, which was a glass lift one time in LA on the trip. Barry didn't realise what he was getting into. When he realised he was in a glass lift looking out, he turned and there was an old man there, and Barry just put his face in his face and started talking to him. He was not going to look out that glass. As you know, Barry was an excellent pianist and started a degree in music at Sydney. However, he'd let that lapse, and in order to play for university, he had to be sitting for a degree, so he enrolled in criminology. I didn't know he'd already been in economics. I've learned a lot today. One night on tour, the female residents of a sorority house on campus at Stanford University very kindly invited Johnny Rowan, Barry and myself to attend a house dinner. We were the guests of about 100 young female residents of the sorority house. The MC of the dinner invited us to stand and state what course we were doing at the university. Johnny stood up and said, I'm doing law. I stood up and said I was doing engineering. Barry was looking more and more embarrassed, but bravely got up and said, I'm doing music and criminology. At which the MC cheekily said, what are you planning to be, a singing parole officer? This brought the house down, and Barry decided to treat the questions as rhetorical, and despite his face colour matching his hair, took it in good humour. It was hard to unsettle Barry. The last stop of the tour was a game against the University of Hawaii. Barry, of course, knew a friend of a friend who lent him a Ford Mustang. Mustang convertible, by the way. We didn't even know how to spell convertible in those days while we were there. So Barry enabled Paul Darvanese, James Roxburgh and myself to spend an amazing couple of days driving around the island. We thought we were the bee's knees. Barry, it seemed, had friends everywhere, and I think he did. Later in life, Barry became a house painter. One of his jobs was painting Aunt Abrams' house. And Aunt said he did a great job, but did say it was the first time that he employed a house painter who stayed in the house with him, had breakfast in bed, and borrowed a selection of his clothes when he went out. Incidentally, it reminded me, just saying that story, it reminded me of a story. 2 years after the 1969 tour, they went on to South Africa. A young Jeff Shaw came into the pub in Newtown, where we were all there having a drink, and said to Barry, I'm getting married in a couple of weeks' time. Barry, you wouldn't have those black shoes I lent you on the tour to South Africa, would you? Barry said, yeah, and took them off. Took them, gave them to him, and Barry went home with no shoes on. He'd been wearing them for 2 years. A number of years ago, the son of a friend of mine told me he was working as a house painter, and his boss was a former wallaby. Did I know him? Of course I did. I asked him how he got the job. He said Barry asked him 2 questions. Have you ever painted before? No, was the answer. Barry said, well, stick your hand out flat. So he did. So he said, move it up and down. So he did. Barry said, you got the job. The apprentice painter told me later that he has never enjoyed it as much as working with Barry, and you can understand that. As we all know, Barry could charm a bird out of a tree, had a wonderful, engaging sense of humour. He was a great judge of character, but never judgmental, and always saw the humorous side of people. His laugh was infectious, and it was a delight to listen to him tell a story. He was in very simple Australian terms a bloody good bloke. He was excellent company, as we all know, and fun to be with. He loved friends he made at uni and through rugby generally, and they loved him. Misha, Sasha, Dashiell, during the last couple of months, your father's family and friends have surrounded him. Many of us have had the luck to be able to express our friendship and love for Barry and to discuss with him the great times we've had together over the years. Barry, true to the way he lived his life, was stoic about his future, and as he did on the field, he showed no fear. He kept his humour and engaging wit to the very end. Not surprisingly, as we've heard, and I saw it myself, all the staff at the nursing home just loved Barry.